Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. So Barcelona loses to Valencia 2-0. So heading into this match, we expected a strong lineup from Setién, and that is exactly what we got. We mostly played in a 3-5-2 formation like in the game against Granada. Since we did lose, I want to point out two problems that we had in this game and also explain why we should not worry too much about the score and why it is fixable. It won't be easy, but it is fixable. The media is saying and complaining about Setién's decision making so far. They're saying like we need goals, not possession. They are also saying that they can't be changing the style of play mid-season. And so the first key point that I want to point out is the midfield issue. And to be more specific, I'm talking about tracking back. So everyone in that midfield did a horrible job at tracking back when we did lose the ball. And I'm talking about De Jong, Arthur, Ansu Fati, Sergio Busquets. All of them could not track back. And tracking back and positioning ourselves when we are defending has been a huge problem for Barcelona under Valverde. And it's not helping knowing that Barcelona, these players have to function under a new system, which is a 3-5-2. So they have to get familiar with this 3-5-2. And since we are talking about the 3-5-2 formation, it is clear that Setién does want a crowded midfield. And the reason why he wants that crowded midfield is to retain possession. But I feel like that this could also hurt us. When you have multiple men around you in that midfield, you don't really feel the responsibility to man mark and be well aware on what and who is around you. And once you do get comfortable doing that, you end up standing on your feet. And that is exactly what we got when Valencia scored that second goal. So if we look at the pictures here, we can see that Valencia quickly threw in the ball. They received the ball. They're counterattacking very quick. And as they were counterattacking, no one from Barcelona's midfield were tracking back, and they left a lot of space open. And if we look at the picture here, I'm gonna show you guys a picture. We can see here that this red box right here is the space that the Barcelona midfield left open. And that number 22 that we saw earlier that scored the goal, he took advantage of this white box that I'm showing you guys here. And you can see that Barcelona leaves a lot of space when Valencia does counter. And Barcelona's midfield needs to be accountable when any team counterattacks Barcelona. So what was even more disappointing is that no one from that midfield tracked back fast enough. They never arrived, and they left Umtiti, Piqué, and Sergio Roberto by themselves. Now I want to talk about another problem that the midfield had in this game, and that was the unnecessary passes. And I do agree, there is a lot of unnecessary passes. There were moments in the match where De Jong and Arthur did not create in that final third, and so they keep repeating those same passes over and over again. They were side passing to the left, side passing to the right, and they were making no effect in that final third. Position wise, they were where they were supposed to be. They were doing a great job. And if we look at the heat map here, Frankie De Jong was exactly where he was supposed to be. He was in that right area, and we see Arthur here just outside the box in that left area in that midfield. So they were doing a great job. The problem is that they couldn't convert in the passes that they were making in that final third. They were in the perfect position when attacking, but they kept making those unnecessary passes. And this point is going to lead me to my next point. What is the reason why they were making so many unnecessary passes? And that is because there was no options in front, because we had no real attacking clinical threat. We were missing that striker that makes himself available up front, someone who can also take down multiple players at once. Now that we don't have Suarez with us, we realize how important he really was for this team. And I know a lot of you guys were bashing Luis Suarez before, saying that he's not good enough, he can't finish these goals anymore. But now that we don't have Suarez now you guys can see how important he was to Barcelona. And Suarez was not just important to Barcelona, but he was important to Lionel Messi. They were assisting each other, giving each other goals. And so Suarez was a fundamental player for Barcelona. And now that we don't have him, now it's time to analyze what are the solutions now that we do not have Luis Suarez. And in this game, we were missing a finisher. So if we look at the stats here in the first half, it showed Barcelona had a total shots of 3, Valencia had 5, chances created 1, Valencia had 3, big chances they had none, and Valencia had 2 big chances. And if we dive deeper into why we had so many little chances, is because if we look at Antoine Griezmann had no goals, no assists, no total shots. He didn't take not one shot in the first half. And then if we move on to Messi was the only player to actually take shots in that first half. He had a total of 3. Then moving on to Ansu Fati, the same as Griezmann. He had no goals, no assists, and no total shots. They were ineffective. They did not provide anything in that final third in the first half. Then if we move to the second half, we did get better in our attacking. We can see that we had a total shots of 14, chances created 8, big chances 1. So we did improve in the second half, but that came with a cost. We focused a lot in our attack, forgetting that we had another job to do, which was to defend at the back. And we can see here Barcelona sends multiple players up front. We had a total of 8 players up front when attacking, and we only did that in order to make up for not having that clinical striker up front. And having 8 players up front is fine with me. I like that type of Barcelona. I like when we do get a lot of men up front and start creating and being more open to score more goals. I love this type of Barcelona. But when you do lose the ball and you are not prepared to track back and close those spaces, like what we discussed earlier, they have no business attacking the way they do. So sending 8 players to attack Valencia was the alternative for not having a clinical striker. And again, that came with a cost. And Setién will need to work on that. There has to be better communication and organization in that 5-man midfield. Barcelona do rely heavily on that 5-man midfield. If the 5-man midfield does not perform well, Barcelona does not perform well. But I believe that we will get it right. Barcelona is in a transitional phase. We just need to give them time to understand the 3-5-2 formation, this system, because this is all new. And all those key points that I have made are fixable. Like I said before, it will take time, but it will not be easy. And it is fixable. And signing a world-class long-term striker can cover already half of these problems that we have going on here. And Quique Setién did speak about that. He did try to explain what was the problem at FC Barcelona, and this is what he said. There are some things that the players still do not interpret well or may not explain them well. Nobody likes what we have seen today. We have a lot of things to do. Positionally, there are things to correct because we have given many meaningless passes. We don't like to have the ball just for the sake of having it. We need to do something with it. And that, my friends, is Quique Setién explaining, and he knows that we are missing a clinical striker up front. He knows that. He's very well aware of that. He understands the problem, which brings me peace. He knows that he needs a world-class clinical striker. And I love how detailed he is with the problems he tries to explain. We get what he wants. He's letting the club know what he needs. And I believe that bringing a world-class player eliminates the meaningless passes, and it will not force Barcelona to send multiple men forward. And since we are speaking about a striker here, immediately right after the game, a lot of rumors, a lot of speculations started to come out, and they were heavily talking about Lautaro Martinez. And so this is what Cat Radio has reported. They have said this coming week is going to be heavy with Barcelona transfers. The immediate signing of Lautaro is also not ruled out. And then we can see here by Tot Gira, they have reported Barca could sign a center forward sometime next week. Perhaps it could be Inter Milan player Lautaro Martinez. Now, do I believe that Barcelona could pull this move off? For me, it depends on how bad they want it. If Barcelona wants to splash 110 million this winter transfer window, they could do that. But I don't think that Barcelona has the funds to pull this move off. So this could just be another rumor, more speculating. But we have to remember, Barcelona and the coach, especially now, know the problem is clear. They need a finisher in order to compete for the UCL. So anything can happen next week. I'm not going to rule anything off. Now I want to end this video talking about Paris. We all know what's going on between Paris and Quique Setién. Quique Setién did tell Paris that Paris is not in the plans for FC Barcelona. So Paris is looking for a team. And then now it has been reported by Di Marzio that Roma and Paris total agreement with Barca. Work is underway with his agent. The deal will be closed as a loan with a mandatory purchase option for an overall figure around 12 to 13 million euros. So Paris is leaving Barcelona. They are talking with Roma, and now this deal is close to being done. So that is what it's looking like for Paris. I wish him a lot of luck. I wish him well in his new club. So yeah, that is what's going on in Barcelona in terms of transfers. And that is also what's going on in Barcelona when it comes to the 3-5-2 formation. There is problems that needs to be fixed. It will be fixed. I know it will. This is a new system. Again, I believe that we are really going to see the Quique Setién Barcelona by the time we get to the month of April. So we shouldn't worry too much about this loss. We just need to continue to improve. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Throughout this whole whole week from Sunday through Saturday of next week. I'm going to be covering whatever happens in FC Barcelona. There is going to be a lot of speculations and rumors about strikers going to FC Barcelona, so I'm going to be covering that here in this video. So make sure subscribe, like, and comment, and if you're new, subscribe, like, and comment. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.